All right, welcome to the show, y'all. Hope everybody out there is having a great day. It is Wednesday, July 22nd, and oh boy, uh, it's rough, bro. It's rough. So, in just a second, Trump is crashing out and sending nuclear planes to Iran. I wish I was kidding. I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. It is horrific to see. We have 11 straight days of bombing that the U.S. has just engaged in. And I remember, what was it, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, that J.D. Vance was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he literally said, we're not just going to bomb and bomb and bomb. And he said that quite literally, as the U.S. was just bombing and bombing and bombing, and is now continuing to bomb and bomb and bomb, and also is sending nuclear planes to Iran. Psychotic stuff. We'll get into all that. We also have Trump panicking as Iran is now openly threatening to murder him. Okay? There's billboards now all over Iran. I'll show you all of them. The New York Times had a piece on it. Really, really wild stuff. Almost feels like we're living in a movie. And then, I can't wait for this one, bro, but Fox News has come after your boy. Fox News came after me personally, and they're trying to smear virtually every left-wing candidate in the country by proxy, okay? They came after me, they came after Progressive Victory, they came after Chris Robb and all these other Democratic Socialist candidates, and I will be responding to that in just a little bit, and I cannot wait, okay? We'll also get to Pete Hegseth crumbling in front of Congress and getting absolutely beat down. It's humiliating. He crashed out a number of times, and a bunch of Democrats calmly dismantled him to his face. And then also later on, Trump is targeting Hassan Piker and DSA with a new terror blacklist. Just insane McCarthyite Red Scare garbage. And it is really, really dark, man. Like, this shows you what the future is going to look like. And it is not pretty. It is not pretty. They're going for it, man. They're going for snuffing out any and all serious dissent. And that should terrify all of you. So you guys know the deal, man. Everybody do me a big favor. Please subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon. That helps out big time and costs you nothing at all. You can also support Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. That link is below. You can also support the show on Patreon. Remember, y'all, there's real independent media. I've never talked to an advertiser, never done an ad read, never will. You guys support the show from the
Can we get to it?
in the illegal and offensive war against
Shalom kal halal, Yahbashim Shabbat Shem Kakadash, double honor to the elder apostles and other bishops, great millstone, even the elder that came before them. Taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the elder Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily update. Shalom and salutations to you all. This is Kyle Kolinski in Secular Talk. He's talking about Trump crashing out, about World War III, sending nuclear planes to go fight the Carmanians. Nuclear planes. So what is that? That's an escalation. Okay? Because what is Vlad and what is she going to do about this? Why? Because they're being a guard unto them. You send nuclear planes, who's their guard? Who's calling the shots for Iran right now? Vlad is. Okay? Because Iran has already joined the Russian army. Okay? And that's in the scriptures anyway. Let's see. Let's get Trump crashes out. Let's get this real quick. 2nd Ezra 9:3. In the Good News Translation, there will be earthquakes, national rebellions, international intrigues, unstable leaders, and confused rulers. When you see these things happening, you will know that they are what God most has spoken about since the beginning of creation. So this, unstable leaders, why did I get this scripture? Because this is what this says. Trump crashes out, unstable leaders. And what else? Confused rulers. Trump crashes out. He's confused. Sends out nuclear planes to Iran. Okay, so just read the headline and you can pull scriptures just from that. sends nuclear planes to Iran. What would I get? You go to Zechariah. Zach 14, right? Just go straight for what kind of planes? Planes that do this, 14:12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord, Zechariah 14:12, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. Their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Going into those nukes, and there it is right there in the headline. Okay. How close are we to going nuclear in this war? Well, Trump just sent out nuclear planes to Iran. You tell me how close we are. Okay. But the scripture proves that it's going to happen. All right, so carry on there, Kyle.
Waged by the axis of Epstein, Israel, and the U.S. 9 people were killed in drone and missile strikes across Jordan, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia.
Let me set that up again. Salaka.
18 U.S. service members who are dead now.
This is very important. The body count, what it is or is not, how they're spending it, and how they're going to use this. See, if they stall on the body count, and then when they come out and say, "Well, there's 3,000 people," said everybody, what they're going to do is use that to galvanize the Americans. Now we got to go over and get the Iranians. They might throw a false flag in there, to trump up support for the war.
And come hang out with us live on Monday nights. All right, let's get right to it. All right, so here's where we're at, y'all. There's at least 18 U.S. service members who are dead now in the illegal and offensive war against Iran.
And there's really about 5,000-6,000 dead. Okay, because you don't blow up all those bases, right? You blow when you see the damage to all the bases in the Gulf. You don't get 14 deaths. You get thousands and thousands of deaths. Okay, precision strikes with missiles. All right, there's a lot of people just in the wrong place. Okay, thousands have died already, and they're holding it back. And when they begin to trickle out that truth, they're going to use that information to control the Babylonians, stampede them, send them over, draft them, all manner of things that are in the pipeline. How they're going to conduct. How they release this information, what they're going to do with it.
Waged by the axis of Epstein, Israel, and the U.S. 9 people were killed in drone and missile strikes across Jordan, Kuwait, and Saudi Arabia. In fact, what's happened is some people were taken from one area in the Middle East. They're at one base in the Middle East, and they're sent to a different base in the Middle East because the U.S. thinks, okay, Iran's definitely going to attack this base. Let's send them to this other base, which they're not going to attack, and then that base gets attacked. Okay, so Iran's intelligence is way better than the U.S. has realized. It's very possible that Russia or China or both are aiding Iran with their intelligence, which is leading to them to get some, spot-on hits here. But that's what's now happened a number of times. In fact, the most recent round of deaths, I believe that's the reason why, is because they were moved from one base to another, and then that new base was hit, okay? 6 more died when a refueling aircraft went down in western Iraq, and 3 were lost in last week's escalation. By the way, I said this at the beginning of the conflict. I'm going to say it again now. I think they're still underselling it. It was just reported the other day they absolutely have been underselling the number of injuries, but I'm also convinced they're lowballing the number of deaths as well. And they're doing everything they can to slow roll us, to release it. They leave big gaps in between when they release the information. They're trying to mitigate the negative PR as a result of people dying in a war that should have never fucking happened in the first place. Okay, so we also have this. Let me show you. Trump comes out and says the following. Every time Iran kills an American soldier, they will pay for that killing many times over. This directive has been passed on to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Daniel Kaine, and every leader in the military, President Donald J. Trump. So clearly panicking, crashing out, feeling like, oh, I'm going to look weak if I don't avenge U.S. soldiers being killed. By the way, one was 25 years old, another one was 19 years old. We just got the word today that there was a 28-year-old as well who was killed. Just insane. You know, we showed the pictures on the show the other day. These people should be alive. These people absolutely positively should be alive. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Again, this war never should have happened. But here's Trump saying, "Well, now we're going to go after. We're gonna hit you many times over for every one of us that you get." Okay. All right. More. He also said this. From this point forward, anytime the Islamic Republic of Iran shoots at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, whether it be by missile, rocket, drone, or any other device or weapon, the United States will bomb and destroy one bridge or power plant, including those located to or in the capital city of Tehran. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So, only in this modern, depraved era of law of the jungle and might makes right can you have a U.S. president go out there and openly boast and brag that I'm the war crimes man. I am going to continue to commit war crimes, and you're going to deal with me doing war crimes. Okay? I am proud of the fact that I'm going to go after your civilian infrastructure. So, all these innocent men, women, and children, there's grandmas and grandpas, and toddlers and babies who will all be horrendously negatively affected by this. Okay? Trump doesn't care. He doesn't care. In fact, that's the point. That's the point. Which is why, by the way, I told you when they attacked that little girls' school, they knew what they were doing. They knew that those were the kids of top IRGC officials. Okay? They knew that. And so they were sending a message to Iran like, hey, we'll go lower than you can ever imagine. We just murdered 160 little girls. There's nothing we won't do to destroy you and defeat you. Okay? So tell me who the terrorist is. I'll wait. I'll wait. All right, more. Let me give you this. So President Trump's figure for innocent Iranian protesters killed by Iran during the January 2026 protests, said often for a justification for his war, has steadily climbed week by week. So it went from 32,000 is what he said in a February news briefing. Then he said 52,000. Now he made it 52,000 plus. Okay? Now I told you all along, this is completely and utterly made up. This is bullshit. If you're an official U.S. state enemy, you get leeway to lie about those people as much as you want, right? If you're an ally, they lie in the other direction and they downplay and they undercount the damage you've done. For
example, wars and rumors of war. Sounds like rumors of war to me. Reports, false reports, fake news, right? And threats, grandiose threats, obliteration.
Look at what happened in Gaza. Even just citing the Gaza Health Ministry numbers was viewed as, oh, you're not allowed to do that. Even though that was an undercount, they acted like it was an overcount, right? So depending on your status in terms of what you are in relation to us, that determines what you get away with and which direction they lie, right? But here's the reality. So a U.S.-funded human rights group said it's actually 7,000 deaths, including hundreds of Iranian police and security personnel. So in other words, both sides of the fighting. And 7,000 was the total figure. And Iran's government figure is about 3,100. Trump has now made it 52,000 plus, bro. 52,000 plus. And I love that he says this like to justify why he needs to continue doing war against Iran.
Called propaganda. Going into wars and rumors, threats, news reports. Okay. Tokyo Rose.
So, in other words, you guys have been so bad to your civilians that I have to come in and save your civilians by bombing them, by murdering them, by killing their precious little girls, by taking out the power plants and the bridges. See, this is what I'm saying. I really got to write a book on this, bro. I really got to write a book on this. Postmodern conservatism. We are in the era, yes, it's fascism. Yes, it's oligarchy. Yes, it's kakistocracy. Yes, I've called what Trump does mobocracy. All these things are true. But postmodern conservatism really defines the era. It's a conservatism completely and utterly unmoored from logic, reason, rationality, history, objectivity, empiricism, truth. It's literally just a fat pedophile, rapist, con man, terrorist making shit up as he goes along.
The question is this. How many innocent Iranian civilians have been killed by the bombings that are going on over there right now? Let's ask. What is the Iranian civilian casualty count since the Iran war began? Now they're going to give me all kind of convoluted, answer that is not going to answer my question. Get around the number. Well, because of the motherfucker, I didn't ask you that. Give me a goddamn number. With just one numeric one numeric estimate complete general one numeric answer. One general. Trying to get the terms right. Numeric answer. Answer. All is not gonna. Oh, AI won't do it. Gave me two. It's not one general. I said civilian. What is the total combined? Are you asking which human rights organization? Why are you asking me questions? This is all I wanted. You gave me two answers. You didn't give me one. Let's add them together. There's your answer. Okay? This is a lie. How many? 11 days of bombing, and there's only 3,000 people dead? I don't think so. This is a lie. The Iranian civilian. Look at this. I'm not even going to go into it any further, but see, they're not going to tell you anything. This is who? AI? Who's AI? Is this American AI or Iranian AI? Depends on who programmed it, right? So anyway, we know how these things go. This is just a general, what's going on update. So as we can see, they're fudging the numbers. Why? Because they're going to use the body count, right? They're going to use body counts to manipulate the people as far as galvanizing the American people to go to war with Iran. Okay, that's one. The draft. Okay, many things. All right. So anyway, we'll sit back and watch and continue to watch. But while we're watching, let's get Rev 11 on the way out. Because World War III is here. And if you got your head in the sand, then it is what it is. Revelation 11 and 14, the second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. It is already here. Right? If Trump is sending nuclear planes to Iran, you tell me where we're at. Are we not in World War III? that, we pray that the elect are ratified, you, brother.